If you're a fan of BTS, you already know there's just something different about V. People call him a genius idol, an alien, a winter bear. But what if that incredible, one-of-a-kind charm isn't an accident? What if it's a story that was written in the stars, long before he was ever born? Today, we're going to dive deep into the ancient Korean traditions of Saju and Taemong to try and decode the cosmic story behind Kim Taeyong. This is a journey into fate, into myth, and some pretty incredible timing. So how do you even begin to understand an artist as unique as V? Well, we're going to start with a traditional Korean practice that's like a map for a person's life and soul. It's called Saju. Okay, so Saju, or the Four Pillars of Destiny, is not your average newspaper horoscope. It is way more complex. It looks at the five elements, that's wood, fire, earth, metal, and water, that were present at the exact moment you were born. The unique mix of these energies in your chart creates this super detailed blueprint of who you are and the path your life might take. A lot of Saju masters have looked at V's chart, and what they've found is honestly this incredibly poetic blueprint that seems to explain so much about his artistic soul. The main idea, the central metaphor for V Saju, is just beautiful, but it's also really challenging. It paints this picture of very delicate life trying to make it against a really harsh background. At his absolute core, V's energy is something called yulmok. In Saju, this is what's known as the day master. It's the essence of who a person is. And this one word, yulmok, it unlocks the very first big clue about his nature. So an ulmuk person is like a flowering vine. They're natural survivors, they're incredibly flexible, and they can adapt to pretty much any environment. I mean, that perfectly describes V's journey from a farm to being a global superstar, right? They also have this really deep artistic sensitivity. But here's the key. His chart shows that this delicate flower was born in late December, the absolute coldest, darkest time of the year. So you have to wonder, right? How does a flower survive, let alone bloom, in the middle of the harshest winter? Well, to answer that, we have to look at another piece of V's cosmic puzzle. And this is where things get really magical and involve a dragon. Yeah, to really get V's story, you have to understand the Korean tradition of the Taemong. It adds this whole other layer of mythology and destiny to the picture. A Taemong is a conception dream. It's a dream that the mother, or maybe a really close relative, has right around the time of conception. And these dreams aren't just random. They're seen as prophecies that hint at the child's future. And V's Taemong, it is literally the stuff of legends. And V has told this story himself. Just think about it. His father dreams he's playing pool with a dragon, and he wins. And the prize is a magic pearl that V himself came out of. I mean, this isn't just a quirky family story. In Korean culture, this is seen as an incredibly powerful omen. So let's just break this down. His father dreams of a dragon, which is this huge symbol of power and good fortune in Korea. He doesn't fight it, he challenges it to a game. He wins the game, and he gets this powerful wish-granting jewel. The symbolism here is just immense. And that prize, the magic pearl, it actually has a name. It's the Yo-Yuju, a mythical orb that literally grants the owner omnipotence and the power to create anything at will. A pretty fitting prophecy for an artist whose creativity has touched the entire world, don't you think? So we have a flower born in the deep cold, and we have a dragon's wish-granting jewel. Now let's put these two pieces of the puzzle together, because this is where we see a moment of just perfect cosmic timing. Okay, so according to the Saju analysis, V's chart is absolutely dominated by water and frozen earth. It's imbalanced. Think of it like a beautiful, perfect seed that's been planted in frozen ground. It has all the potential in the world, but it just can't grow. It's missing a critical element. And this table just lays it out so clearly. On one side, you've got his chart's energy, all cold and water. And on the other, you've got what it needs to thrive, the warmth of fire. In Saju, the fire element represents expression, passion, performance, being in the spotlight. It's the one thing that could thaw the frozen ground and finally let that flower bloom. For the first 17 years of his life, that crucial fire element just wasn't there in his major luck cycles. The potential was there, sure, kind of hibernating under the surface, but the conditions just weren't right for it to come out in a big way. And then everything changed. And this is where my mind was just blown. In 2013, right as he turned 18, V entered a massive 10-year luck cycle completely dominated by the fire element. And what happened in 2013? BTS debuted. The cosmic warmth, the spotlight he desperately needed to flourish, it arrived right on schedule. It's unbelievable. It's like his Saju blueprint, which literally called for the fire of performance, finally met the reality of his life as an idol. It was this perfect, incredible alignment of fate and opportunity, and it allowed all of his immense, innate talent to just burst out for the whole world to see. Okay, so that big, great fire cycle has recently ended. So what does Saju predict for V's next chapter? Well, it looks like the transformation is far from over. Astrologers use this really beautiful metaphor for it. He's moving from the energy of the winter bear, introspective, full of that quiet potential, into the energy of a blooming forest. Think about that for a second. It's a huge shift from a single flower to a massive, expansive, creative force. So this next phase of his life is predicted to be one where his own individual influence just grows even stronger. We can probably expect him to expand beyond music, maybe into other high art ventures, and eventually transform into this powerful creator and producer in his own right, basically managing his own creative forest. When you step back and look at the whole picture, it really is a stunning story. You have the sensitive flower, the prophetic dragon's jewel, and the perfectly timed fire of the spotlight, all coming together to create the artist we know today. It really suggests that his unique charm is this incredible blend of his innate nature and some truly cosmic timing. Now, of course, none of this takes away from V's incredible hard work and his dedication. He made the journey happen. But it does leave you with a pretty fascinating question to think about. If our destiny really is a map, how much of the actual journey is up to us?